Back in the 80s, 90s and 2000s, gaming ads were the Wild West. Nintendo were the undisputed kings of the industry at this time, and even with very little competition, they're still airing these mental commercials, like this one where some kid's house flies into space just so you pay $155 for Rob the Robot, or how they made the Power Glove look like God's gift to gaming, when in reality you're playing Super Glove Ball and catching virtual balls for fun.
Basically, you're just this glove, and you're going around grabbing balls.
$194 by the way.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
But overall, Nintendo ads back then weren't anything crazy. I mean, they were weird, but they usually kept it family friendly. Unless we're going to mention the Game Boy ads where they had a woman tied to a fucking bed, or this one telling consumers to keep it in their pants, or whatever the fuck this means. Sorry Nintendo, maybe I just don't see the vision, but this somehow worked. Fair play to them. Soon enough, Sega came along. They kept it relatively tame until they released the infamous Genesis Does ad campaign.
16-bit sports action.
You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis does.
What Nintendo don't.
After that, most of the ads were shitting on Nintendo as much as possible, and to their credit, it worked. I really like how they advertised in the UK though, through magazines, hitting us with how Daphne had never been fulfilled until she had a Mega Drive, or talking about how you're pulling and squeezing on your knob and shitting all over the place. Obviously, they're talking about such classic games as 3D Balls. I even like this ad for that game where it tells you to tell Santa you want balls for Christmas. Nice try, Sega, but I'd much rather collect them on my Super Glove Ball with my Power Glove for Christmas. This was all pre-Sonic, by the way. Like, this shit almost hit the fan here. But Nintendo never really addressed Sega at all this time. They mostly just focused on the games, since they were still competing with the NES. Soon enough though, Sega released Sonic the Hedgehog in 1991 and helped them steal the market share majority in the West. With the helps of ads like the Sonic rap, where they say a million times, as if anyone knows what the fuck that means in the context of Sonic. They also had this ad of some nerd becoming an emo because he has a Genesis, and that sends him flying a million miles an hour in the air because he's playing Sega, I guess. I think my favourite American one though is where they have this kid who's getting bullied, and then he gets the Genesis, and then he turns into the fucking Godfather who isn't impressed with not getting chocolate chip cookies.
I said chocolate chip. Say it. Say it.
It's like, I don't blame him, fair enough. I'd be angry if I didn't get my chocolate chip cookies. But I think the UK is the best out of them all for Sonic and Mega Drive, with the all-timer What's Blue and pisses all over everything, and this guy playing the Mega Drive on the toilet, and whatever the fuck fiber-free game system means. There's so many of these ads that were shown in UK, some I don't even know if I can show on YouTube. They even said they ran out of ideas and asked fans to make some as well. Turns out the magazine they placed ads on was called Viz, and they were known for having a mature audience, so the raunchy and edgy tone makes sense. I think the craziest one Nintendo had at the time in America for the NES was the do 250 miles per hour in your underwear with this geeked out kid who has Ace Ventura hair. Soon enough, Nintendo replied with the SNES, and still never really addressed Sega. So Sega went along anyway and called the hardware a piece of shit and said that Genesis has blast processing.
The Sega Genesis has blast processing. Super Nintendo doesn't. So what's blast processing do? What if you don't have blast processing?
As you can tell, the SNES can never run Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine in a billion years. But Nintendo really just let the games talk for themselves, to be honest, which made them start the 16-bit era a bit slower than Sega, since they were just making them all look like losers. Like, how many companies are just going to hint at the competitors having small dicks? Like, come on. Sega even hit them with a haymaker advertising in Europe with the "Who the fuck is Mario?" And I'm not sure how Nintendo even came back from this, but they somehow did. They soon realised that Sega was losing ground in the competition, so they slapped back and addressed Sega directly with the Street Fighter 2 ad, which didn't age very well. They also focused heavily on how the SNES is more powerful by using Mode 7 and scaling, basically saying, fuck Mean Bean Machine, Mario's way cool time machine is where it's at. By this time, we had Sonic 2 and the craze for the guy was off the charts. I think the most interesting magazine I could find here was Sonic Horror Farming, and this UK ad, which has turned into my favourite because they talk about the Mega Drive for 2 seconds, and this prick asked the bar was given the Cyber Razor cut.
Now, sir,
give me the Cyber Razor cut.
a Cyber Razor cut.
Like, what the fuck is the Cyber Razor cut? I'm gonna ask for that next time I get a haircut. I guess it modifies his body into being an elite gamer for the challenges ahead of him in games like Tongue of the Fat Man. It's just like the 90s gaming version of Drake with Sprite. We also had this great ad for Kid Chameleon, just beautiful, absolutely gorgeous ad. Sonic 2 had so much advertising, but I don't think they're as batshit crazy as some of the other stuff we saw. Plus, there's so many videos that talk about it in better depth than I probably could and have time for. But skip forward to 1983, and we've got some guys bombing houses with TVs playing Sonic 3.
Twice as big as Sonic 2! Shit! The new 3D special stage! Shit! And the new game save feature! Shit! Do it!
New Sonic 3 is now available at a store near you.
We've also got whatever the fuck was going on in the French magazine. Not sure what that was about. But then Sega started to push out with the Sega CD and 32X. And I gotta say, they have some beautiful advertising for such a shit show that made the Mega Drive look like it was on life support. But we did have this ad of a kid being blown away by it, with classics such as Sonic CD, Power Factory, and Nitro in the original FNAF. Oh, and most importantly, they had Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. This saved the CD and made it a worldwide phenomenon. Just kidding. I really loved the AVGN parody of the Sega CD. If you show it to someone who didn't know it was made by James Rolfe, then they totally think it was real.
And Super Nintendo has got this. So what's the choice?
Then we had the 32X, which fucking sucked. It straight up had no games unless you want to count Knuckles Chaotix, which has a bit of a cult following, but it had great ads like this and This Guy in France. But Nintendo were no fools and recognised that Sega was losing steam. They hit them with the Donkey Kong Country ad, which is completely dunked on Mega Drive add-ons, which really made the SNES look superior. And they kept doing that, kinda. After spending time making their family-friendly identity, they just said fuck it and made this weird as fuck ad for Yoshi's Island, where the director displays his barely disguised kinks, or even this ad for Kirby where these people are inflated and his creepy as fuck nurse just slimes them behind closed doors. But the best one is easily Donkey Kong Country 3, because Nintendo looked at everything Sega's been doing for years and thought, you know what would really stick it to them? You know what the fans really want to see? Boom. Monkeys on a motorbike. Classic ad. Eventually Super Nintendo caught up and sold more consoles, even though this ad for Sega exists. But in reality, there is really no answer to who won this era of gaming. It really comes down to a lot of factors. Regionally, Sega won in terms of sales in places like Europe and Brazil, where Nintendo did better in Japan along with parts of Asia, and both consoles fluctuated in popularity in the States. It's really all down if you want to play Packy Marlin or James Pond, but what I'm getting at is that the consumers were the ultimate winners of this generation. Sonic, Mario World, Streets of Rage, Castlevania 4, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, the list goes on. All these games made for a generation that's completely timeless. Even though there wasn't a clear winner, we did have some clear losers. We had some fuck-ass nobodies trying to get into this fight like the 3DO, where they straight up threw both the Genesis and SNES into a toy box and had this fantastic piece of advertising showing off one shade of orange. And then this one, a flower comes out of this kid's ear, and then he gets fucking decapitated. $1,600 please. But to be honest, it is worth it in the end if you want to play Twisted the Game Show. Also had a Neo Geo where they called Sega and Nintendo Limp Dicked and talked about weenies a bit too much. They say you need a set of balls to play a Neo Geo, which I'm sure you do if you're going to play Wacky Wacky 7, but in reality, I think it takes a set of balls to actually buy a Neo Geo, because it was $1,642. In Japan they even had Slender Man's cousin advertising it, so you know it was a hit. But before we move on to the next generation, let's not forget about the music that these consoles gave us. This has nothing to do with advertising, so we're just going off topic, but holy shit, it would be a crime if I didn't at least mention them. Games that have no right to have soundtracks that go this hard, just do. Look at Sonic Spinball, a fucking pinball game, and listen to these songs. Or a SNES, look at Plock for example, a great game featuring this guy and has music that makes me want to dance till 6 in the morning. I'm just going to run through some of the heavy hitters that aren't from the main Mario or Sonic games. And I always want to give a special mention to the TurboGrafx 16/PC Engine, which I haven't talked about yet, because this was the only funny ad I could find. But I'm only bringing it up because A, unreleased Kanye album named after it, and B, Castlevania Rondo of Blood has one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in my life. Especially this song, which doesn't even sound remotely like anything else in the series.
Smoking that Whoopi Goldberg South Egyptian Fur Burger Deluxe Mega Million Scratcher Skunk Bubba Kush. I'm on 12 Vicodins smoking on Scooby-Doo dick.
Anyway. You'd think Sega would continue with the direct and aggressive marketing for the Saturn, but actually took a different approach. Make the most terrifying ad possible with this bald woman in this fucking floating head, along with asking who gives you raging arcade gameplay.
Who gives you raging arcade gameplay?
Or even having fucking Satan talk to me about why I should buy a Sega Saturn instead of a Pretendo.
There are lots of good reasons to go with Sega Saturn instead of Pretendo.
And then fucking shoots an N64 in the air with this goofy as fuck music behind it.
We call them games. Sega Saturn has tons of them. Pretendo has just a few.
The Saturn was a shit show, especially in the US. They released it 4 months early just to jump the competition and then got completely fucking smoked by Sony. However, the opposite was happening in Japan, where they were compared side by side, and the Saturn managed to be more popular in some places. I'd say this was made possible by the man, the myth, the legend, Sagata Sanshiro.
に魂込めた一人の男が今日も行く真面目に遊ばぬ奴らには体で覚えさせるぞセガタ三四郎セガタ三四郎セガサタン四郎
The main message I initially received from watching these ads were, play our game or this man will beat the ever-loving shit out of you and your friends.
よしようぜ。オッケー。行こう行こう。お前ら今日はやったよ。任しとけ。セガと三四郎。セガと三四郎。
セガサタン四郎
高速ハリネズミソニックのレースゲームソニック R
セガサタン
I especially love the Bomberman ad, where he throws this guy with so much power that he fucking explodes in impact. This poor guy, all he did was not play Sega Saturn, like the majority of the people in the world. So it seems like the ads were pretty good for the Saturn in Japan, except it wasn't all that good because he had this fucking horrifying train ad that looks like it was found on a cursed VHS tape found in the woods. But the best one is definitely the one at the end of the Saturn's time in Japan, where Sagata Sanshiro protects Sega headquarters with the power that could only come from the Cyber Razor Cut and turn his missile around and into space, ultimately sacrificing himself and advertising his game. There's also this hilarious picture of Ice Cube that I found. Sony's always had some good advertisements, you know. I really love the one where the monkey is vibing to music. However, for the PlayStation, they took up the cool and edgy identity instead of Sega, who decided to go as uncanny as humanly possible. I think the most famous ad for the PS1 would be the one where Crash goes up to the Nintendo headquarters called Mario Plumber Boy, and then a cop comes up and hurts his elbow. That's a pretty good one. Some other standouts is the Crash Team Racing one, where he shouts "Booyah Granny" at the end.
What's going on here? Oi! Geezer! What? Our flight's in 10 minutes! Well, we better hurry then, didn't we? Buckle up, boys, buckle up! Come on, mate!
So, let's face the facts. I'm hot, you're hot. Who wants to pet me?
Crash Team Racing. Once he gets behind the wheel, things get ugly.
You and me. Booyah, Grandma. Booyah!
So is this one where a guy hides in a bin for no reason and gets thrown down in the fucking chute.
Are you sticking up for Cool Borders 4? It's got more air, more tricks, and more chances to explore the freak within. Whoa.
But I personally love this Tekken one where Law gets his shit rocked by Lovely the Cow.
Milk. Pure magic.
However, the Japanese Crash Bandicoot ad tops them all. Honestly, most of the commercials for the PS1 felt more like comedy skits that happened to be advertising games, which I'm all in for. The magazine ads were also a sight to behold. Like, let's think. What do you think is the best way to make your console appealing? Wrong. The right answer is veiny as fuck arms with PlayStation shapes. Here's an ad for a fucking Muppets game. I repeat, a Muppets game. Here's the Rayman ones, which honestly just go hard. I really like this one where they went after the Saturn, saying if you still want a Saturn your head is in Uranus. Booyah Grandma. That's a who the fuck is Mario level of ad right there. What I'm especially scared of is this ad where the average person from Dundee is talking to me about mental wealth.
Tell you what bugs me about human endeavour. I've never been the human in question. Have you? Mankind went to the moon. I don't even know where Grimsby is. Forget progress by proxy. Land on your own moon. It's no longer about what they can achieve out there in your behalf, but what we can experience up here in our own time. It's called mental wealth.
Nintendo's N64 marketing was strange because, unlike Sony and Sega, they weren't trying to be overly edgy or strip nightmare fuel. They just seemed to be determined to make consumers as uncomfortable as possible without actually frightening them, like Homeless Mario for example. Or they went raunchy with the My Stick is Pure Joy ad, which I'm sure it is, especially when playing Mario Party. There's also this one where they took a page out of Neo Geo telling us to be a hot dog. Even on TV, it was weird. I love the Smash Bros one where they just beat the shit out of each other. We also got this one for Yoshi's Story where these freakazoids train their tongues. Conker's Bad Fur Day had some real good ads, like Let the Shit Hit the Fan, a good foreshadow for Rare as a company, or even Conker napping in the toilet. We even got this kid with a cyber razor cut of his own, or this kid animorphing into Mario. There's just this pretty funny guy. We even got the Jerry Springer type of ad for Tetris. Fucking Tetris. Tetris tore our friendship apart. Sorry Bucko, but if Tetris is a game that's destroying your friend group, I want to see what happens if they play Super Mario Party and one of them steal an item.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I know.
They didn't notice, so don't worry.
Okay.
Just don't make a scene or anything.
What do you...
Don't make a scene.
No! Come on!
But the haymaker from Nintendo was easily this one. Boom, the Nintoaster 64. Sue him, James. Soon enough, the turn of the millennium was about to hit, and Sega came out with their final console, the Dreamcast, where Sega went with the slogan, "It's thinking," which is probably one of the weirdest slogans you could go for. Even ads like this, with fucking Maldemort, is off-putting. Or even better, turn me on, like turn me off because I'm waiting for my Seaman to grow up and do this shit. I think this SegaNet ad is pretty good too, cleverly predicting how shit talking will be a very important part of playing games online. It's a real shame that the Dreamcast didn't do so well. I mean, it was a genuinely cool console that was ahead of its time and had a solid library of games, and music of these games, again, like holy shit. Jet Set Radio, Sonic Adventure 2, Crazy Taxi and more, apart from shit like Silent Hill 2, nothing much in this generation compares. And apart from those magazine ads that made the Dreamcast look like something that would destroy your household, the TV ads were pretty cool. Showing all the characters in the consoles was genuinely a cool idea, and you can see that inspiration today, like in the Astrobot game when the PS5 was announced, or the Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Not saying Sega was the first to do it, because I don't fucking know who did it first, it could be fucking Atari for all I know. But before we move on to the next consoles, I want to mention this Japanese ad campaign with the big man Hirokazu Yukawa, the former managing director who became an unlikely star for the Japanese audience. It starts out with kids making fun of Sega, and then eventually the Dreamcast goes on sale and Yukawa is struggling to sell them. Soon enough, he gets the help from Takizawa, who's a celebrity. Then Dreamcast is so in demand that Yukawa had to apologise for the shortage. The ad campaign managed to make its audience like the underdog story that resonated with a lot of the public. It's not quite Sagata Sanshiro level of wiping out an entire club for not playing the Saturn. It was successful enough that Yukawa ended up on the box for the console, with the magazine ads and most importantly a cameo in Shenmue. Rest in peace, you legend. Next up is the PS2, where Sony went with an interesting strategy of barely showing the console and tried to one-up Sega's strategy of the Saturn and make the most disturbing ads as humanly possible. Some I don't even think I can show, and to their credit it worked pretty well. You know, it was only the best selling console of all time, which is crazy considering they had this guy advertising Pac-Man, which just reminds me of this guy in my Strange Addiction. We even had this guy take away the PS2 logo. I don't know if Sony's trying to promote their next console or trying to advertise the next Saw movie. This is just a hall of fame now of some of the batshit ads that Sony was dishing out. We've got this ad with all these heads, which make you think of this one FNAF animation. We've got the inner workings of a Sony fanboy, Rayman with huge features, the original Detroit Become Human, this woman dunked in baby oil, and the actor after the Kirby Superstar ad. I really wish I got to experience this time when marketing teams were high on acid and making the craziest shit possible, because this is how you sell a console, somehow. And I haven't even started on the commercials on TV. Especially this one, where this guy had his arms come out of his mouth and then meets himself, a guy in bandages, and a duck in a suit that has human eyes. I never thought I'd see a talking duck with human eyes and think, yeah, I should buy a PS2. Thank you, David Lynch. We even had Sony revealing the PS9 with Elon Musk's microchips ready to install themselves into you 78 years early, which I'm very disappointed about. I was hoping they'd use this design, but I guess they were saving that for the PS10. Like, we have the Cyber Razor cut already, like, let's not get impatient now. I really like this one, where it's a mountain of people racing to buy Looney Tunes back in action on release day because no one could believe they were back in action. During the PS2 era and until the early PS3, Sony and weird as fuck ads went together like Todo and Yuji and Jujutsu Kaisen, or even better, Walter and Jesse, because they were cooking up this insane drug-fueled shit. But it clearly worked. The ads were definitely memorable, or traumatizing, depends on how you want to look at it. The GameCube had some pretty tame ads compared to whatever the fuck Sony had going on. I mean, they were still strange, but nothing like the talking duck. I think we need to mention this ad where Nintendo replies to Sega about 10 years late, and to add to the Mario lore, Mario was in the Oval Office in 2003, and who was a president in 2003? Do the math on that one, ladies and gentlemen. I really love these next few GameCube ads. First up we got 1492, Columbus declares that the world is round. And then 2003, Michael disagrees. First of all, who the fuck is Michael and why is he a fucking idiot? Oh no, never mind, Michael, Walmart customer. Got it, Walmart. Really cleared that one up for us. We got the best image I've ever seen in my life. We got the bandage guy from the David Lynch PS2 ad, but he's in a box this time. We even got Glenn Howerton, who's coming up the sewer. Even when you're not playing it, you're playing it. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. And then we have Nintendo shamelessly ripping off the geniuses who worked in the Neo Geo ads. Like, come on, did you really think it was going to go unnoticed, Nintendo? There's also this commercial for Mario Strikers, or Mario Smash Balls as it was called in the UK, where they have this funny scream. Then out of nowhere, out of the shadows, we have a new rival.
Now, find a new rival.
Microsoft jumped into the console wars with the Xbox. They also went for an edgy style of marketing, but it kind of just comes off as gross or juvenile, or just kind of corny. Like this ad where it shows a young former Blizzard employee. Can you feel the power of X? I don't know, ask Elon Musk, I'm sure he feels it. The Xbox had a solid line of games, especially Halo, but an emphasis was made on Xbox Live with stupid ass Dark Master.
Born ready. My name is Chuck. You cool, dumb master?
Where trash talking was a selling point, something you can't even do nowadays because some AI will ban you because your mic echoed someone saying a slur.
I know what men can do when they're angry.
Bag my online ID is
Dark Master.
I was masking my voice. You can use your real voice.
Message all friends, recent players. I just got into the Prestige lobby, and the guy's willing to do some more, and the challenge lobby too. And if you have 16 Microsoft points, or you're willing to pay $20 PayPal, oh god.
Or you can pick from a list of voices. I was just being friendly. I mean, I'm not one of those game guys that gets like totally absorbed, you know?
Fucking game is tough. Shoot a gun, dog. Learn how to fucking shoot a gun. You fucking riot shield. What else? Oh, riot shield. I'm a pussy that use riot shield.
Actually, I think there was one other person that was above me. I mean, hey, it was no big deal.
Oh, I don't think so.
So I decided it'd be fun to contact this guy and challenge him.
Fucking
Famer.
guy on you, little bitch. You can't play this game, man. Get out of the tank, and then let's see who wins. I'm like #1 in support, so I'll kill you.
Famer.
Yeah, get out the tank next time, and then let's see who will win, you little
Famer.
I know these are Xbox 360 lobbies, but I doubt the original Xbox lobbies were much different. I'm sure they're still just as toxic. But Microsoft eventually found their footing in the next generation with 360, thanks to Dr. Mouse, of course. I think the last properly weird advert in this generation is the first few for the PS3, which includes this amazing advert that traumatized everyone unfortunate enough to watch it at the time. Or this pregnancy ad. I really wonder why the PS Triple struggled at launch. Then Nintendo just pulled an I'm not like y'all and fucked off to do weirdo shit and absolutely obliterated both PS3 and Xbox in sales.
Come on now. Wii? Come on, that little controller, baby, that looks like a dildo.
And Xbox just got as many celebs as possible to promote the console in its 2000s as fuck launch event on MTV and showing it off in press conferences.
Look at the new Xbox. A console that's about to change digital entertainment forever.
Fucking, if I ever seen you in New Hampshire, I'll fucking kick your ass.
Why would I go to New Hampshire?
Fucking pussy. What is it? Because it's better than fucking Texas.
I'll only go to New Hampshire when your family hosts a gay parade for you, okay? I mean, there's no other really point to go there.
That future starts right here, right now. This is my Xbox 360. It's here, and it's on.
Oh, this is my Xbox 720. Fuck out of here. Nowadays though, it's a shame that we don't have these marketing campaigns anymore. Like, companies aren't as willing to get weird with it or risky and bold, which is fine, but I wish Sony hit it with play has no limits when you switch to the PS5 or something like that. The beef would go viral on social media, but now Nintendo have infinite ace attorneys who are more than willing to financially bankrupt someone for sharing a ROM file of Bester's Quest, so never in a million years that would happen. I'm skipping this last generation because Microsoft and Nintendo got fucking smoked by Sony, especially Microsoft. Like, holy shit, how did they not do a Sega? Nintendo at least had a great lineup of games for the Wii U and then recovered extremely well with the Switch. If there's anything to learn from this video, is that A, I'm a dumbass for consuming ads for like 2 days straight, and B, companies gotta get their marketing teams back on drugs or get weirdos back directing them, because shit like this unironically make me want to get a PS1. Anyway, thank you for watching. This video is a little bit different from the one I made a couple months ago about the Lost Resident Evil stage play, which I do have some new info about. It's just kind of small stuff, but if you find that interesting, feel free to watch it. It's more of me just reading a script with less jokes, so this time I just wanted to change it up a bit. Sorry if I'm not that funny. Still getting used to talking to a microphone. But yeah, anyway, thank you, bye.